guys good. How do you get this group mentally where you want it to be when you have games like that? Can maybe linger a little bit. How do you make sure that this thing's as pros back to focus mentally?
I think there's some things that you take from every game that are positive things, and there's some things that you have to be better at. There's no doubt. So you go over that with the players, but I think it's about mindset now. Like, we put ourselves in a position where every game we're playing is pretty much must win. So we don't have a choice, I guess, when you look at it. We have to be at our very best, and that's not for 57 minutes. That's not for 55 minutes. That's for the full 60 minutes plus, if it needs to be that.
Do you have to instill a desperation, or is it already felt?
I'm pretty sure it's felt. We have a lot of guys that have been around and done that before, so they know where we're at. We're not in a position we want to be sitting in right now, and we as a staff approach it as must win for sure, and I know our players are that way as well. I mean, when you see them walking around the room and listening to some of the conversations, they change as the year goes on. So anticipating them being really good for us tonight.
When injuries are a part of it, and when somebody like Michael Stone or anybody else goes down, it's an opportunity for somebody else.
Yeah.
We get that next man up mentality. But
yeah.
For the guy like Dennis Gilbert, who really showed you a little bit there last game, didn't he? What do you think about the opportunity that he has to take and run?
Well, the one thing when you look at Dennis and the way he's played his game, he's come into the lineup and he's almost made people take notice that he's not coming out of the lineup. He's approached every one of his games with us that way, and I will say, the fighting aside, he's tried to play to his identity, the identity that we need him to play to, and a lot of that comes from him understanding who he is and what he needs to do, but also when you get your opportunity, you never know if you're going to get another one. And he's approached it the right way, where he plays every game like it may be his last game until he can prove over and over and over again that I deserve to be here and be here every night because I'm going to play the same way consistently.
There was a pretty neat play where he was going to the net, screaming on that goal, and he said he's obviously comfortable on that right side. But he shows you a little bit, doesn't he, in his willingness to do something.
I think you see that with any player. The more they play, the more comfortable they get, the more confidence they play with. I think that's. I hate the word comfortable because sometimes that means the foot gets taken off the gas a little bit, and that's one thing that we'll try to push him with, make sure that he stays the same way and doesn't allow anybody to take his spot from him. And that goes for our whole group, like whether it's Pelch or Huberto or Kadri. The moment you get comfortable, that's when the foot kind of comes off the pedal. So we have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. We have to be there tonight.
What's all the talk? This is a bit of a novelty for you guys because you've never been to this arena. What's the talk about when you go out on a rink like this?
Yeah, there's some buzz. I will say that. Like, you come here, it's a new arena. The guys have never been here. They didn't know what they were going to see, and there's a lot of buzz. Wondering what the crowd's going to be like tonight. All that stuff comes into play, but you hear talk about some of the guys that played major junior. It reminds them of a good junior rink. Some of the guys that were NCAA were talking how, wow, it would have been awesome to play in here. But the big thing that we took out of everything from our meetings and their skate this morning is they're playing really well here right now. And if we're not ready to go to start with, it's not going to be headed in the direction we want. So the start, Eric, tonight will be real important for us.
Tell me about, and I don't know if this is you're just rotating Connor Mack in today, but the mentality of potentially going with 7 defensemen. Why would you guys ever consider that?
There's a lot of reasons. Like, sometimes you want to get some more ice time for the guys up front, certain players. Other times someone could be banged up. Other times maybe you're not happy with one of the other 6. So there's a lot of reasons that do come into play as to why teams do that or why we have done it in the past. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's one of those things. But everybody has to be ready to play. That's kind of the message that we try to send our guys.
Tanev, 700 games.
Yeah, everything. Like, when you think about him and the way he approaches the game, there's not many nights where you really can think back and say Chris wasn't there tonight. Like, he's a guy that shows up and does the hard things every night. So for me, getting a chance to work with him, I love it. He wants to get better every day. He has ideas. He takes ideas. He listens. He's someone that I think our back end looks up to in regards to how he approaches the game each and every night, how consistent he is with how he plays the game, doesn't change who he is, doesn't change his identity. He comes to play, and he's such an important piece of our team. We know our record when he's not in the lineup, whether that's a direct result of him being in there or not. But what he does on the ice, is real important for our group. What he does off the ice in our dressing room is just as important. So 700 games is pretty crazy.
He's such a soft-spoken guy. He's not afraid to share ideas.
Very quietly, he does. So sometimes you have to prod him a little bit, but that's the way Chris is. He leads by example. He's one of those type of players for sure. But when something does need to be said, he's not afraid to step out and do it. He just won't hear it from him all the time.
Is Michael Stone on the trip?
No, he's not. No. Yeah.
What is it about their game that has really led them to this success? It's 9 straight.
Yeah. Yeah, well, one, they're a very hard-working team. I think that's a big thing. You'll see them hunt back to their own zone as hard as they go the other way. They do a really good job of stretching teams out. That's another thing. And they have skill where they can play a fast, hard game. So teams come in here and they have to be ready to play because this is a good hockey team.
Have you seen kind of what it looks like at these games here, the atmosphere of it, just with that college feel to it?
Yeah, we do. From our pre-scout games, we get a chance to watch some of these for sure. So that's part of the excitement that our players have here is getting a first-hand feel of what it may be like in here tonight.